Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you guys had a really good Thanksgiving yesterday. Today is the 28th of November. We're going to be looking ahead to the very nice slate of games for the NBA since there was none yesterday. Speaking of Friday, we do have our Black Friday deal going on for college basketball and NBA. NBA, it's going to be $85 for the rest of the season. That deal ends today, so at the end of the day on the 28th, that deal's going to be over. It's going to go back up to 120. So we'd love for you guys to get in on that deal, and you also get the first two rounds of the playoffs as well. So you're going to be getting lineups until May for only $85. Really not too bad at all. And also for college basketball, only $75, and that's also going to be mid-March as well. And you're going to be getting every single slate and also two lineups if you guys sign up for the season pass. And like I said, college basketball has been really good for us. Not a lot of people really have been talking about it, but we've been winning pretty consistently 4 out of 6 here recently. So, why not give us a shot? If you don't want to do season pass, no worries. We have a $5 day pass available for you guys if you want to come try us out. Our email and our Twitter will be down there in the comments section below. Click the link for our Twitter and also for our email. Like I said, it'll be right there. Copy it, message us. We'll get you guys all set up. But yeah, like I said, the Black Friday deal obviously ends at the end of the day, so definitely get in on it. Very good value, and we've been doing pretty well here recently. So we're gonna go through some of these games. Most of these games we're just gonna briefly go over, like this one here. Um, so our first one is Philadelphia and Brooklyn. We got a 222 7.5 spread. Really low scoring game here on paper. So the big one here is if Paul George is going to play. If he does not play, that definitely opens up for Quentin Grimes a little bit more. VJ Edgecombe's already out. Um, and then with Michael Porter being out, we'll have to see where that goes for sure. Philly does struggle getting shooting guards, so I don't know who's really going to pop off here. You got Mann, Williams, Martin, and Drake Powell. They all have been playing minutes recently. I would expect maybe Tyrese Martin to get the spot, the starting spot. You can look at him in GPPs, but he's really not that good of a player. Like, I know he's had a couple good games, but Tyrese Martin, he's been in the league long enough. He sucks. He's not good. He's on the Nets for 4,000. So he might randomly do good, but I would put that in if you're doing like 2 out of 150. I'd put him in. Same thing with Drake Powell, right? Another guy randomly gets minutes. You're on a big slate. Maybe this guy goes off. Like I said, shooting guard is where Philly really struggles. So maybe one of those guys pops off. I just don't know who. Besides that, I don't really have a ton. Maybe Justin Edwards if um, Paul George is out. If Paul George is out, I do like Quentin Grimes more. If Paul George plays, don't like Quentin Grimes as much. I feel like that correlation just sucks for some reason. He just sucks with Paul George. So we'll see. He's starting to become the Quentin Grimes of 2 years ago. So um, especially, like I said, Paul George doesn't play. I do like him more. If Paul George plays, I think he's worth a look. But there's so many games out there today that a 30 from Paul George ain't gonna get it done. So. Moving on here, we have Cleveland, Atlanta. Another one of those games I just don't really have a ton for. I mean, on paper, yeah, it's a 236, 5.5. So I think the main studs like Mitchell and Garland have a shot, right? Garland's a little bit cheaper because of his minute restriction, but um, the only spot really Atlanta really struggles is point guard, shooting guard. They got absolutely destroyed last time out, but I don't mind Mitchell here. I just don't have a ton really from the rest of this game. Jalen Johnson, I think, is worth a look. But I think overall this is going to be a good game to watch, right? Atlanta's really good inside against power forwards and centers. They just really struggle at point guard, really. So maybe, like I said, Garland or Mitchell is the main guy I'd be looking at over there. And not really interested in Atlanta too much. Chicago and Charlotte. So this is obviously the game that you're going to want to target. Let's go look at it real quick. We have a 248, 2.5. Both these defenses just absolutely suck. And, we know this. Chicago's slightly better, but not by much. They're good at shooting guards and all right against point guards. But besides that, they're really not good. So there's a lot of spots here to attack here. But Charlotte is healthy, which I hate. I mean, I love it. I hate it at the same time. But Connople at 66 is not too bad. Had one dud against New York, but like I said, this is one of the highest totals. Both these teams really don't play defenses. And also, Chicago's kind of banged up right now, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But Miles Bridges still comes into play. He's under 8,000. Brandon Miller's really dang cheap at 61. I think if any of the value, it's probably got to be Brandon Miller. I mean, he can probably get you 33, 34. I mean, it's almost a 250 total here. Got to remember that. So really don't mind a couple of these guys. All right, so for the Chicago side, Charlotte really sucks on defense too. But as you see here, Kevin Herter, Patrick Williams, Isaac Okoro, and Vukovic, right? These guys are all questionable. Okoro's more doubtful. Vukovic, we'll have to see if he plays. If he plays, he's definitely worth a look. If he doesn't play, obviously Jalen Smith, Chalk City comes into play. And also, Chicago is not good at the center position. So is it going to be Ryan Cockburner? Is it going to be Moses Diabate? Who's going to be the main guy? We'll have to see. I would probably go Ryan here, but they just switch so much. There's so many other options out there tonight. So, but yeah, we'll have to see what's going on with Bazulius. They've been messing with this dude's minutes, and I have it on him on fantasy. I don't know if I should dump him, but hopefully his minutes start coming back. This is a prime spot for Bazulius to take a shot with him in GPPs. So I don't think anyone's gonna. Well, a couple people might have him, but he's been so weird on his minutes. But if a couple of these guys out, Bazulius kind of has to play. And also Kobe White. It's the first game of a back-to-back, so he either plays tonight or rests tomorrow. We'll have to see what they do. If he does rest today, Trey Jones becomes lock of the day. I still think he's in play. Trey Jones is. I mean, especially with these guys kind of being hurt and Kevin Herter. So kind of have to play it by ear. Ayu Desamnu comes into space, especially if Kobe White's out. So watch that Chicago side. That's where your little bit of your value is going to be, and obviously Josh Giddey's a really, really, really good spot tonight. All right, Orlando, Detroit, really good game on paper, 232 total. I don't have a ton in this game. The two I do have in this game is Kate Cunningham and Wagner. And also, I don't mind looking at Suggs or Black in this one. Detroit slightly struggles, I think, recently. Let me go look against point guards. Yeah, so recently they're more of the middle of the road. They give up 3 3-pointers per game, and 6.8 assists. So it's not the greatest matchup. So maybe you can go Black over Suggs, but I would. That's probably where I would go. But I don't know if you need to go that way. But just in case something happens to Suggs, I mean Anthony Black's been pretty dang good. All right, moving on. Washington and Indiana. Both these teams are 2-win teams, I think. Both these teams do not play defense, so if Andrew Nimbard's out, McConnell's going to be 95% owned. Ben Shepherd definitely comes into play as well. He gets big minutes, but hasn't done a lot. But if I don't pick him tonight, he'll go off. So keep that one in mind. McCollum's definitely in play. Keyshawn George, I expect him to play tonight, but we'll have to see. But yeah, still like McCollum. Benedict Mathurin, a really, really good spot at 7,100. Jarris Walker comes into play as well at 4,500 off the bench. He's been playing good the last couple games. Siakam's all right, but I think there's other spots you can go, but I wouldn't be surprised if he pops off. And I just want to mention more of a DK play. This guy randomly goes off as well on minutes, so keep an eye on Jay Huff for some weird reason. So I wouldn't even mind him, even on Fanduel at 41 and deep GPPs only. So, yeah, really good game to target. You want to target quite a bit of it. Moving on a little bit here, we have Milwaukee and New York. Another one of those games is a slight blowout that I don't have a lot in. We have a 232, 8.5 spread. Giannis is still questionable in this one. If Giannis doesn't play, I really don't have a lot in this one. The only one I kind of like is Gary Trent. The downside is if he does play small forward, New York's better at small forwards. But if he stays at shooting guard, then Gary Trent's an all right spot as a value play if Giannis doesn't play / he starts. Defenses are pretty good down there. I think Josh Hart would be the one I would look at small forward more. He's only at 6'8", and I think he could be in a very good spot here tonight. Also, Milwaukee struggles a little bit against shooting guard area, so you could definitely look at Miles McBride or Mikal Bridges. Wouldn't be surprised if one of those guys have a half-decent game as well. Probably more Mikal Bridges. All right, Phoenix, OKC, not really going to talk about this game. Blowout, 225.5. 14.5 spread. If anybody, Ajay Mitchell, but he's been really limited on his minutes. But on paper, he's in a pretty prime matchup. But I think most of these guys are kind of priced where they should be, and I'm just not really into guys like Shea and Chet tonight. So they're worth a look, but I'm not really into them. San Antonio and Denver, another game that could be a slight blowout. I think for sure you got to look at Jokic. He's going to be the your main person to really look at here. Jamal Murray, I really don't mind him. San Antonio, the one spot they really struggle is against point guards, so I think Murray could have a 42 to 46 fantasy point game in this one, and in a pretty good spot. Don't really have a ton of San Antonio, but Fox could be worth a look. Sacramento and Utah. Sorry, trying to get through these a little bit quicker. Really like this game for both sides here. Keontae George, I think, can easily get you 42 to 45, maybe even 50 in this one. He's been playing the lights out, and Sacramento is terrible. So if Dennis Schroeder does miss tonight, Malik Monk continues to be in play. But one guy I definitely do want to mention, and somebody is probably going to like this shout out, but Keon Ellis definitely comes into play here. He's definitely more of a defensive player for sure. But I do just want to give a little shout out. I mean, he had 22 minutes, 26.9 at 3,800. So if Dennis Schroeder misses again, I wouldn't be surprised if Keon Ellis, kind of Minnesota Atlanta, gets you 24, 25 points at 3,800 in a high pace game here. Ace Bailey is an all right option as well. Marketing is definitely not in a bad spot. If he starts at small forward though, I don't like him as much because he's probably going to have DeRozan on him, so keep that one in mind. Really don't mind looking at Nurk. Chua off the bench is definitely not in too bad of a spot. And I think if Keegan Murray starts at power forward, which I expect him to, he's probably one of my best low-owned guys in the night. I think he's going to absolutely pop here tonight. All right, moving on here quickly. Dallas and Lakers. On paper, don't really have anything on this game. I like watching it, but it's a 10.5 spread. Davis probably not going to play. Lakers do struggle against power forwards, so Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, but for the most part, probably going to fade this game, but Luka's always in play. Memphis and the Clippers is our last game. Clippers, as normal, struggle against the three-point area. So Jalen Wells comes into play. Cam Spencer really comes into play. Vince Williams, good at the assist. Like Sid Williams, only at 4,300. Cedric Coward comes into play at 6,000. So really good value here on the late slate on the Memphis side. And and also Clippers struggle against the center position. So Zach Edey definitely comes into play as well. And they're really good against power forwards, though, so not really on to Jackson tonight. So that's what we got going on. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, went a little bit quicker here today. As normal, our season pass deal ends today. $85 for the rest of the NBA season. 2 lineups per day, every single main slate, sometimes after hours, first 2 rounds of the playoffs for $85. And like I said, it ends in mid-May. So that's a really good value. Message us on Twitter or on our email as well. Both of those will be in the comment section below. And $75 for the rest of the college basketball season. And like I said, college basketball, 4 out of our last 6. A lot of our subscribers are winning well. Not a lot of people play college basketball, so there's not a lot of sharks in there. So it's actually like old DFS, and you can actually win a little bit. So 75 for that. NBA is 85. Why not come give us a shot? And like I said, we have our $5 day pass for college basketball and $6 day pass for NBA. Once again, thanks for watching. Hope you guys all had a really good Thanksgiving. Likes are always appreciated, and also hit that subscribe button as well. All right, thank you once again. We'll see you here in the next one. I apologize for that, but yeah, we'll see you here in the next one.